What does the Warriors blowout of the Clippers specifically tell you?
Well, it speaks to how great the Warriors are now that they're starting to fire on all cylinders and having integrated Kevin Durant increasingly into the offense and into the team, and the defense even that he brings, as Stephen A. has pointed out. It also points out how great Chris Paul is. In his absence, they're simply not the same. And the inadequacy of Austin Rivers as a starting point guard in the NBA, or maybe even as a player in the NBA. And Stephen A., I have a question for you about this, because I found myself wondering if Austin Rivers, who's never been a good pick-and-roll point guard, to say the least, which is, you kind of need that in today's NBA spread offenses and all that. But I imagine, look, Austin Rivers is woefully inadequate to start at the point, to get blown out by 40. He is the coach's son. He's also the GM's son. I imagine that part of getting blown out by 40 is not only the fact that the point guard's not good enough, but the fact that the whole team knows that that point guard's not good enough, and he's the head coach and GM's son. That can't be good for the locker room. But that's just my theory. You actually know things, so I'd like to ask you what's going on.
When Doc Rivers first brought Austin Rivers on, there was some trepidation on the part of many. You bring in your son, they didn't like it. Doc Rivers and I spoke directly. He said, I don't give a you know what. You know, he was like, I don't care. Austin Rivers came on the team and immediately showcased his defensive prowess. What he can do on the defensive end of the floor earned his stripes. So he is far more respected now than when he first arrived on the team. But this entire franchise knows everything starts and ends with Chris Paul. He's that vital. He's that pivotal. When he is not on the floor for the Los Angeles Clippers, they are a shell of who they are. He runs the show. He directs traffic. He orchestrates things. He knows everybody's job description. He is a true extension of the coach on the court, not just in performance, but in attitude, because Doc Rivers, you know, he bows to no one. His attitude is there's a way to beat everybody. We just have to find it. And Chris Paul is an extension of that. Without that, they lose that identity, Max, and they're just a shell.
But I've seen like Blake Griffin essentially run not exactly a point forward, but run the offense at times with Chris Paul out of the lineup, and seems to do pretty well. To me, I hear that, of course. Listen, any backup point guard is going to fall way off from Chris Paul, who plays a practically perfect point guard. He's like the perfect point guard. But in particular, Austin Rivers, Stephen A., there's no one on the team, especially with the contract he just got in the offseason, that his dad gave him. Let's face it, when he was the top recruit out of high school, but by the time the Clippers signed him to the first deal, he was like a D-League caliber player.
Yeah, but again,
a bubble kind of NBA player.
We're looking at one side of the ball instead of both sides. Defensively, he belongs in the NBA. Offensively, there have been times where he looked like he's improved with his shot. He can make some things happen. The problem is he's playing with the Clippers, where Chris Paul is. And so when you go from Chris Paul to Austin Rivers, there's an extreme drop-off. If he were playing in most other places, it ain't that big of a drop-off.
Right.
So it's not that flagrant. It's not
what I'm asking, what you're saying is clearly true. What I'm asking is there resentment, nevertheless, that he is the coach and GM's son? That one of the reasons they don't have a better point guard, backup point guard, is they gave him a real contract.
They gave him a real contract, about $10 million this year. He didn't pay $10 million this year. But you got to remember, that's because of the collective bargaining agreement, the new television deal, the elevation of the salary cap, and how it's not going to count. That's damn near mid-level, for crying out loud right now, considering what it is. But I want to go to a bigger point when I look at this Golden State Warriors team. As I told you before the season began, that damn Kevin Durant ruined my season. I'm trying to tell you right now. Listen, this dude is just on another level. Now, I know Steph Curry dropped 43. I know Steph Curry is otherworldly. We know what him and Klay Thompson, making up the Splash Brothers, brings to the equation. But my God, Kevin Durant averaging 26 a game, shooting 54% from the field, shooting about 39% from three-point range. This dude is just on another level, okay? And him being on this, I mean, I'm so sick. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of Jay-Z. I'm sick of all of them, because they have taken competition. I'm just sitting back here right now. I thought I was going to have the finals to look forward to. I thought at least I was going to have the finals to look forward to. Now I'm worried about the damn finals. I'm worried about how competitive it is going to be. I'm worried about the essence of competition, for crying out loud. I might not even have it. The way Kevin Durant is flowing with this team, and the way he's fitting in, and the way they're coming together, how in God's name are they going to stop Has anybody going to stop them?
That was the question when the season started.
It's literally gotten to the point where we got last night. Everybody looking at, oh, it was a good game between them and Portland. Steph Curry didn't play last night. They beat him without Steph Curry. I mean, I'm just looking at the Golden State Warriors, and I'm like, damn it, this is just not fair. And that damn Max Kellerman, I was thinking about him, Molly. I was thinking about Max Kellerman because I said, he's all happy. Oh, it's a super team. Oh, we got to wait.
It's like
wait
an all-star game every night.
Finals. Blah, 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 blah. No, this is like watching, and one competition. They are doing what they want when they want.
They're Harlem Globetrotter in the NBA.
Harlem Globetrotter in the NBA. I like that. That'll work for me for the moment. But I'm telling you right now, I look forward to competition, competitiveness.
Well, I mean, look,
where is it?
What do you think is going to happen,
nobody
Stephen A?
can touch these boys. It's a damn shame.
They went to Game 7, and they blew it in the last couple possessions. And he replaced Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes is a nice little player, but he was worthless in the finals. I mean, Barnes couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a handful of buckshot.
He was awful.
Oh, he and Festus Ezeli were in a competition to see who was choking bigger under pressure. Those two guys were worthless in the finals. Terrible. Goodbye. And you replace Harrison Barnes with Kevin Durant?
Listen, there is no exaggeration. Listen, understand something, Molly. We call Kevin Durant the second best player in the world because we give deference and respect to LeBron, who's a reigning defending NBA champion, a three-time champion, who usually gets an advantage over KD in big moments. That's the only reason. LeBron is not a better shooter. LeBron is not more accurate from the free throw line. LeBron is not a dude that you'd want the ball in his hands ahead of KD when time winds down for most people. You don't want that. Kevin Durant legitimately forces you to debate, is this the best player on the planet? And the dude is 6'11" with a 7'6" wingspan who can handle the ball, pull up from three, has a mid-range game, can get to the hole, goes to the free throw line, is a career 88% free throw shooter. He plays defense again. Now all of a sudden Golden State's number one in block shots, number one in steals, number one in disruptive shots, all because he's there with Draymond and Iguodala and Clay.
Try this. And
listen,
when they play five out now.
And it allows them to disguise Steph Curry even more. Damn it, it ain't fair. It's not fair.
How about this?
It's just ridiculous.
When they play 5 out now, they still got a 7-footer on the floor.
Yes. Yes. It's
so you weren't depressed about the regular season, and now you're depressed about the finals?
Jay-Z, he ruined the season.
But you don't really stop it.
Stephen A, but where's real competition?
Now you're depressed about the finals, too.
Yes.
No, there's no real competition.
Not depressed about the finals. I'm
worried.
Stephen A,
I'm worried.
You don't really wonder who the best player in the world is.
I'm worried.
You don't really wonder.
No, I'm going to give it to LeBron.
Give it to him. You don't have to give him anything.
Kevin Durant. I'm telling you right now, though, Kevin Durant is a bad somebody, man. This is why I'm mad at him for going there. It's just not fair. It's not fair.
You know who else is mad right now?
It's not fair.
Imagine
This
if
guy.
LeBron and the Cavs can overcome this in the finals.